Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of My Bucket List Day. So in today's episode, we are basically celebrating 1 year on the road as a full-time RVer, and I'm going to share with you some straight talk on what it's been like live on the road full-time in an RV. And I apologize for the background noise. They're doing construction and I can't tell the people to stop working, so I'll make this quick. So we're going to cover what it's been like as a full-time RVer, and we're going to cover three categories, and that is your rig, maintenance, and repairs. We're going to talk about lifestyle changes, and then we're going to also talk about the activities and journeys and things that I've been doing. So stay tuned, and we'll get into it right after this. Okay, welcome back. Again, I apologize for the background noises. We got a lot of kids playing in the area and some construction going on. So we're going to cover three categories. The first one being RV maintenance and repair. Second one being lifestyle changes while you're full-time on the road. Even if you're part-time, but the things that you have to be aware of. And then the journeys and expeditions that I go on. So I'm going to get real about this. You're going to hear stuff here that you probably never heard on any other YouTube channel. And we're going to cover all of those things, so you're going to get some straight talk from me. So let's jump right into the first category. RV maintenance and repairs. Start off right out of the gate. If you are not a mechanically inclined person, or you get anxiety about things that might break or are breaking, or just general maintenance that you got to do in an RV, I'm telling you right here, right now, don't do it. Don't buy an RV. Don't buy a used one, new one. I don't care what it is, and I don't care what class it is. Every single RV out there, whether it's a Class A all the way down to the simplest pop-up campers, they all have issues, meaning there's going to be problems where they fall apart and or something breaks, or you're going to need a major repair, or an appliance stops working, whatever. And if you are afraid of those types of things or not mechanically inclined and you struggle with that, you're not going to have an enjoyable time. You always have to plan for the unexpected. You have to plan both time and money for those issues. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Additionally, if you are one to always rely on a repair person, like when you live in a six and bricks, obviously you have maintenance repair on your home. And if you are the type person that continues to hire people to do or fix these things, RVing is not for you, because you need to have some common sense as well as some mechanical ability to take care of some of the things on here. And it can be some minor things up to some quite major things. Now, all of you have seen me do many repairs on my rig. And I've actually only taken it to the RV dealership once, and that was because there were some things that I was waiting on. I couldn't order, as well as I couldn't install them because they had to take the bed out and put another bed in and that type of thing. But that was rescheduled 3 different times because of part delays and or scheduling delays on their part and things like that. So if you don't have the patience to wait for things to get repaired or parts, again, this is not for you. I recommend not doing it. And then let's briefly touch about RV repair centers. My experience in repairs, they were actually pretty good at Lazy Days, but for the most part, you're going to find that most RV dealers, I hate to say this, but they're horrible. I hear from just about every RVer out there, if you ask them, did they have a great experience when they bought it, or did they have a great experience when they went in for service? And I would say a high percentage, 80%, 85%, said no, they had a horrible experience. Either the sales process was horrible because they said they were going to fix something, they didn't do it, or they promised they were going to throw something in on the deal and they didn't do it. Bottom line is, You rarely hear a good experience of people buying a RV, whether it's new or used, from a dealership. Repairs at dealerships, I had a fairly good experience. However, most people have told me they've had horrible experiences. Either there's been delays, or the parts were ordered and they were wrong parts, or they fixed it one thing and then there were 6 other things that were broken. So anyway, they had problems with repairs. So a message out to all you RV dealerships and things like that. Yeah, you're probably going to get pissed off because I said this. Pick up your game a little bit. I don't know if it's you need to hire better people. I don't know if just this industry, in the RV industry, we've just got some dishonest sales people or managers or whatever. Room for improvement there. So that's that. So if you are going to buy an RV, used or new, just buyer beware. Do your homework. Make sure you're understanding the costs. Make sure you're understanding warranties if you're planning to buy an extended warranty. Make sure you understand everything about the RV before you buy it. In fact, I highly recommend that you find somebody that is an RVer or experienced in that and have them come look at the RV before you buy it, because they'll know what to look for. There are many RV inspectors out there that you can hire for a few $100s. They'll review the entire thing. In fact, I recommend, even if you're buying a brand new one, hire them to come in and inspect that brand new one at the dealership. And they'll find all sorts of things that I guarantee you that haven't been done by the dealer, even though the dealer claims they went through their multi-point inspection to check everything out. Don't trust that. Get a private inspector to come in and look at things if you're not quite sure what you're doing. So enough of that. So I'll move on to the next. So personally, my experience in purchasing my RV was not the greatest either. In fact, on the first unit I purchased from a company up in Sanford, Florida, from La Mesa, and they lied. They lied about a lot of things. But the thing that I guess hurt the most is when I first purchased it, it went in a week later because they had to do some promised repairs and detail the rig. And after I had already loaded all my stuff in there, did my first test trip on it, and then took it in for those repairs, it was there for 3 days. And the last day it was there, when I was ready to pick it up the next day, 3 of their employees actually broke into the dealership that evening and went straight to my unit and stole a few firearms out of my rig. And even though everybody at the dealership knew who did it and how they did it and all that kind of stuff, they were minors. They weren't of age, and the police said they can't interview them unless the parents agree, and the parents' attorney said no. So long story short, and the dealership did nothing about it, even though they knew who did it. So that experience was horrible. And then the second rig that I got at Lazy Days, the sales experience was, again, not great. I was lied to about a few things. They misrepresented a few things. And I did all my homework. So long story short, the second time around, even though they lied and misled, I did get everything corrected, and I did get everything that was eventually promised to me. However, it took a lot of phone calls and emails and letters and stuff like that to get it all taken care of. In fact, even Grand Design had to get involved. But I got everything done. So my experience hasn't been good for either location. And everyone I talk to, I hear the same stories. So, but that was my personal experience. Do your homework. Make sure you know what you're getting into. Try to push emotions aside and use logic and use common sense when you're doing everything. When you guys are building this is a message out to those manufacturers. When you're building this thing, have one person or two person go behind the people that are cutting all this wood up to fit everything with a vacuum cleaner to suck up all the sawdust. Because it's been a year I've been on the road traveling this entire country. I think I've got a little over 8,000 miles on the trailer, maybe 9. And still to this day, every time I get to a new destination, I've got sawdust all over the place. All over my bed, all over in the living room, all over in the kitchen, because sawdust is everywhere on this thing. in the ceiling, in the floors, in the walls, and just shaking loose out of all the cracks and everything. It's all over. So just a little hint to you manufacturers, and Grand Design, I'm just talking to you because that's my only experience, but I hear everybody complains the same thing. Get a vacuum cleaner. You gotta have one in your shop somewhere. Get somebody to start sucking up all the sawdust so we're not spending a year cleaning it up. So expect that one. Sorry I went on a little tangent there. It's just, I'm a neat freak, as most of you know, and that just irritates me that every time I park into a new campground or wherever I'm at, I've got to pull out the vacuum cleaner and suck up all the sawdust. That's irritating. Anyway, as I move on, mechanical aptitude. All right, now maintenance. There is constant maintenance on the RV just as there is in your home. So if you're at home and you don't do the maintenance at home and you hire a guy, or you have somebody come over and take care of your yard or things like that, again, this may not be for you. There is constant maintenance on an RV, whether it be not only just keeping it clean, keeping seals moist so they don't dry out. Bugs are an issue. I constantly spray around my rig and the tires and the jack stands, things like that, to keep the crawly bugs out of there. But also you've got little gaps here and there that you've got to close up or fill up and things like that to keep the little flying critters out of there. So bugs are an issue. Now fortunately I have not had too many problems inside the rig because I'm constantly treating the outside of my rig with bug sprays and repellents and things like that. So that's a constant maintenance issue. Tire check on your trailer, on your tow vehicle or anything. You constantly have to monitor your tires. The last thing you want is to be running down the road at highway speeds and you have a tire blowout or something like that. That's not only dangerous, it could be lethal. So you always have to check your tires. I make a habit of checking my tires every time I hitch up and I'm ready to hit the road. In the inside, you're always going to have, along with all the sawdust I already talked about, you're going to have little pieces of molding pop off here and there. So little brad nails. If you got a brad nail or an air compressor, that'll be your friend because you're going to have a few pop loose here and there. I think I've had 6 pieces of molding that have popped off or came loose, which I thought was a lot and was ridiculous. But when I talked to others at other campgrounds with other brand units, they're telling me that it's almost every time they move they got another piece of molding popping off, or a cabinet coming loose, or a frame breaking loose. So I guess I'm feeling pretty fortunate because none of that's happened to me as much as it has for others. But expect that's going to happen, so you're going to have to repair that. If you have to wait for a repair person to come fix simple things like that, you're going to be waiting a long time and spending a lot of money and get frustrated. So that is pretty much the category on the rig. If the moral of my message here is, if you don't have patience and you suffer from anxiety about getting things fixed or things that might be breaking, and you're not the type person that wants to do constant maintenance, RV's not for you. Don't do it. Maybe you're the type of person that maybe you should just rent one and enjoy your weekend with your family and then turn it back in. That might be ideal for you. Okay, now the next topic is, as I said, the lifestyle, the RV lifestyle. As I said, I've been doing this a year now, and I've noticed a little bit of a change in how I live. Where I was used to my home environment, where I knew where the store was, I knew where Home Depot was, I knew where I could get my prescriptions, I could get things done. In the RV world, when you're traveling to new towns or new areas all the time, that's going to change. So you're going to spend some time planning where you're going to get your prescriptions. You've got to call your doctor if you need to get them renewed. And then you have to call them into, or he has to call them, or he or she has to call them into the pharmacy near where you're going to be. For me personally, I've been sticking with CVS and Walgreens. So I'm pretty much flopping back and forth from those two because they are national. And when you have a prescription that maybe needs to be refilled, they can just look it up and refill it there for you. So I usually just go in and they pull it up, show my ID, they said, yep, okay, and then I go back and pick them up and that's all good to go. Groceries. As you travel across the country, you'll notice the grocery chains change based on the region that you're in. And the brands of products that you buy are going to change. So if you're really big on one brand and then you get to a new area and they don't carry that brand, you got to experiment with other brands. And yes, I'm big on cottage cheese. I love cottage cheese, and I found a few brands that I just can't stand, and I found a couple new ones I've never tried that actually were pretty good. That's just one example, but you get the idea. From milk to other dairy products to breads. Breads are all regional. There's one that I love at home that I can't get anywhere else. I did find a close second in Texas, but otherwise I have yet to find a really good 12-grain bread, especially out west, which surprised me. I thought you could find that out here. But they're either too dry or they're too soft. They're just having it just right. I guess I'm picky on my bread. Anyway, things like that, your lifestyle is going to change. Additionally, how you dress. You're going to find out you dress a little more casual. I'm pretty much in t-shirts, although I'm a little dressed up today with a collar. But usually just in t-shirts or wick-away shirts and some comfortable shorts. And even when I go visit friends and stuff, I'm pretty much dressing pretty casual. So everything with me that I thought I'd wear, I find that I'm not wearing half of it. So I'm ready to do my 4th round of cleaning of clothes or thinning out of clothes and sending off to Goodwill. So the lesson there is if you are going to go full-time or even if you're going to go part-time, you don't need all the clothes that you think you're going to need. Now, if you're one that wants to do cocktail parties and things like that, although I don't know where you do that in an RV park. I've seen lots of people get together and have cocktails, and we're all usually dressed pretty casual. Flip-flops are pretty much the norm on the footwear, or Crocs. You see a lot of those. Putting on shoes that actually cover your feet completely, that's dressing up. Tennis shoes, you're getting really dressy then. So, other than hiking shoes when you're out for a hike. So those are some things, the lifestyle changes that you're going to notice if you do this full time. Personal hygiene. Okay, a lot of people don't want to talk about this subject, but let's talk about personal hygiene. I can tell you from experience, there are some people that kind of let themselves go a little bit. They perhaps don't shower as often as they should. Now, I get it. You're trying to conserve some water a little bit, especially if you're boondocking. I get that. But they do also make some little wipes that you could probably use in between those showers, just to kind of keep the odor down a little bit, guys. And girls, I've come across some orders on both male and female that probably you don't want to share those orders with other people. Which brings me to laundry. Now, it's perfectly fine. Lots of people like to use the laundry facilities at the RV parks or go to a laundromat and get your laundry done. And I get it. You can get all your laundry done in probably an hour, maybe 2 hours, because there's multiple machines. However, I find that to be very cumbersome and or kind of a pain to drag my laundry across an RV park and just sitting around in a laundromat. So I have a washer and dryer on board. So I throw a load in here and there, and throughout the week my laundry's always all done. There have been a few times I've been a little lazy and haven't done it, and all of a sudden I'm doing 5-6 loads of laundry in a day. So for me personally, I find it much more convenient to have the laundry or the washer and dryer on board so I can do all my own laundry. So the biggest lifestyle change you're going to experience is your family and friends. As you're traveling around the country and seeing all the beauty that the country has to offer, your family and friends are at home and they're sticks and bricks at their regular jobs and doing whatever it is they do. And as most of you know, I travel by myself. However, as you've already seen, I have lots of friends that come visit me. And in fact, I've got more friends that I'm meeting up with in Glacier National Park here that you're going to see in upcoming videos. But that lifestyle change is going to be hard for a lot of people, especially if you're going full time and you really are close with your family and friends. Again, I invite mine to visit me, and they do. They come visit me as I'm traveling. And for me, most of my friends live all over the country, so it's been really a lot of fun to visit my friends as I'm traveling around and I get into their cities. So that's been very fortunate for me. I'm able to go see some friends I haven't seen in many, many years, and family, because as I'm traveling in the areas, I stop by and see them. So the real talk, or the straight talk part about all of this is if you are close with your family and friends and can't imagine being away from them for a lengthy period of time, this may not be the lifestyle for you. So the number one lifestyle change for me has been this video production and maintaining this YouTube channel, which has been a lot of fun. And I can't tell you how many people that have seen my videos and then seen me in an RV park and said, "Hey Jeff, love your content." So it really makes me feel great that I'm putting stuff out there that people enjoy watching. So the last topic we're going to talk about is your expeditions or the journeys as you're traveling around in an RV. And let's face it, that's why we go RVing, is so we can see and do all the wonderful things that there is to do when you're traveling around in the different areas. But all the journeys that I do, now let's just cut right to it. This channel is called My Bucket List Day. Hello. So this is not a channel all about RV repairs and maintenance, which some of you have commented, says, "Oh, I like your channels when your videos when you just do that." Well, this is not My Bucket List RV repairs. This is My Bucket List Day. The plan from the beginning was to travel around the country and do and experience bucket list items all the time. Some of my bucket list items may not be your cup of tea. That's fine, that's okay. But some of you have already liked them and commented many times. So I'm going to be doing all sorts of things. In fact, I've got a few activities that we're going to be doing that I think will make a lot of you laugh. And you'll see me, I don't want to say wipe out, but get wiped out from some of the activities. Recently, I heard somebody share that they said the journey in getting to a particular destination, whether it be a national park or wherever it is they were going, the journey was more fun than the actual event itself. And that is so true. If you go in with the right attitude, you can find fun in everything and excitement in just about everything if you just have the right attitude. I hope that I portray that I try to have the right attitude all the time, whether it's hiking or the zip lining that I did, but what type of activities do you like to see? Is it more scenery? Is it more activities? Is it more just location stuff? Tell me what you'd like to see, because I want to continue to build this community, which, by the way, thank all of you for hitting that little like button, subscribe, and the little bell that notifies you each time I put a video out. So thank you for all of that. But I do want to grow this community, and I want to provide content and videos that you guys are all going to enjoy and like. So again, I'd like your comments right there. And if you don't want to put them down below and you'd rather go to my Facebook group, you can go to My Bucket List Day Buddies Facebook group. Ooh, I can't even say that fast. Or on my page and leave your comments there. What type of activities would you like to see me do? So again, all I'd like you to do is share with me in the comments or on my Facebook page, or Facebook group I should say, My Bucket List Day Buddies, what type of activities you'd like to see me do, and what kind of places would you like to see me go explore. Okay everyone, so this was my attempt to try to explain to you and give you some straight talk or real talk of what it's like to be full-time in an RV and the things that I've learned and witnessed and experienced. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you got something out of it. As always, I love your comments below on what you think, good or bad. As you know, I respond to pretty much every comment that I receive. For those of you that are new to this channel, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that little bell. That'll notify you the next time I put a video out. I want to thank you all for watching. Take care and make it a great bucket list day. Goodbye.